Arrival of the Galactic Hunters. The massive starship Nexus Prime emerged from hyperspace, its sleek obsidian hull gleaming against the stark backdrop of Earth's moon. On the bridge, Captain Zara Vex stood with arms crossed, her six eyes narrowing as she surveyed the blue planet below. Her scaled skin shimmered with anticipation, reflecting the soft glow of the ship's instruments. "Preliminary scans complete, Captain," reported her second-in-command, Krill. The gelatinous being's tentacles danced over the holographic controls. Primitive civilization detected. Abundant wildlife. No significant defenses. Zara's mandibles clicked in amusement. Excellent. It seems the Galactic Council's quarantine of this sector was an overreaction. Prepare the hunting parties. As the crew bustled with activity, Zara retreated to her private quarters. The walls were adorned with trophies from 100 worlds, pelts, bones, and preserved specimens of the most fearsome creatures the galaxy had to offer. Yet there was still room for more. Earth, with its isolated development and diverse ecosystems, promised a trove of new conquests. The Nexus Prime carried the most elite hunters in the Galactic Empire, beings who had faced and defeated apex predators across the cosmos. This backwater planet would be little more than a training exercise. Down in the armory, Dren, the team's weapons specialist, was briefing the first hunting party. His exoskeleton clicked as he paced, addressing the assembled hunters from various species. "Our scans indicate large predatory animals in several regions," Dren explained, pulling up holographic images of lions, tigers, and bears. "Nothing our containment fields can't handle. Remember, the Council wants live specimens for study." In the back of the room, Lyrax, a rookie hunter on his first major expedition, raised a clawed hand. "What about the dominant species? The humans?" Zara, who had just entered, let out a bark of laughter. "Bipedal mammals with no natural defenses. Hardly worth our time. We're here for real challenges, not glorified primates." The room filled with chuckles and murmurs of agreement. Lyrax nodded, though a flicker of doubt crossed his bioluminescent face. As the first shuttles prepared for launch, Zara addressed her crew one final time. "Remember, we are the apex predators of the galaxy. These Earth creatures may be the kings of their little forests and savannas, but they've never faced anything like us. Show no mercy, but take no unnecessary risks. The hunt begins now." The hangar bay doors slid open, revealing the curvature of Earth below. One by one, the sleek hunting vessels detached from the Nexus Prime, streaking towards the planet's surface like shooting stars. Little did they know, Earth had surprises in store, and humanity's resourcefulness was about to be put to the ultimate test. On the frozen tundra of the Arctic Circle, a lone polar bear lifted its head, catching an unfamiliar scent on the wind. Miles away, a young Inuit hunter named Aklak paused in his tracks, an ancestral instinct warning him of impending danger. As the alien vessels pierced the atmosphere, leaving trails of superheated air in their wake, the stage was set for a confrontation that would challenge the galaxy's most feared hunters and reveal the true strength of Earth's creatures and its human defenders. The hunt had begun, but who, truly, was the predator, and who was the prey? As the Arctic wind howled across the icy expanse, neither the overconfident aliens nor the unsuspecting Earthlings could foresee the epic clash that was about to unfold. First contact in the frozen north. The alien shuttle touched down on the vast expanse of Arctic ice with a soft hiss, its advanced landing gear adjusting to the uneven terrain. As the hatch opened, a blast of frigid air rushed in, causing several of the hunters to flinch despite their environmental suits. Zara Vex stepped out first, her six eyes scanning the horizon. The white landscape stretched as far as she could see, broken only by jagged ice formations and the occasional dark patch of open water. She activated her suit's thermal imaging, searching for signs of life. "Spread out," she ordered. "Krill, set up the base camp. Dren, prep the containment fields. Lyrax, you're with me." As the team dispersed, Lurax fell in step beside his captain. "It's beautiful," he murmured, taking in the alien landscape. Zara scoffed. "Beauty is irrelevant. We're here to hunt, not sightsee." Several miles away, Aklak crouched behind an ice ridge, his eyes narrowed against the glare of the sun on snow. He had been tracking a polar bear for days, hoping to bring back food for his village. But now something else had caught his attention. Strange lights in the sky and unfamiliar sounds carried on the wind. Adjusting his hood, Aklak moved silently across the ice, years of experience guiding his steps. As he crested a small hill, he froze, barely believing his eyes. In the distance, bizarre creatures unlike anything he had ever seen were spreading out across the tundra. Aklak's heart raced. He knew he should return to the village, warn the others. But curiosity and a sense of responsibility kept him rooted to the spot. These were his people's ancestral hunting grounds. Whatever these beings were, he needed to know more. Back at the alien camp, Dren was growing frustrated. "Captain, our scans are being interfered with. This ice, it's not just frozen water. There are trace elements I'd never encountered before." Zara frowned. "Adapt the equipment. I want results, not excuses." Suddenly, Lurax called out, "Movement, 3 o'clock, about 500 meters out." The hunters turned as one, weapons at the ready. Through the swirling snow, a massive white shape emerged. The polar bear, a male in his prime, stood on his hind legs, easily towering over even the tallest of the alien visitors. "Magnificent," breathed Lurax. Zara's mandibles clicked in excitement. "Our first prey." Dren, ready the containment field. Lurax, flank left. "I'll draw its attention." As the hunters moved into position, none of them noticed the small dark figure of Aklak watching intently from behind a pressure ridge. The polar bear dropped to all fours, its black nose twitching as it caught the alien's unfamiliar scent. With surprising speed for a creature its size, it charged toward Zara. "Now," she shouted, activating her plasma rifle. A shimmering energy field sprang to life around the bear, but something unexpected happened. Instead of being trapped, the bear seemed to phase through the containment field, its fur crackling with strange energy. "Impossible," Dren exclaimed, frantically adjusting controls. The bear, now mere meters from Zara, reared up again. Its roar shook the ice beneath their feet, a primal sound that sent chills through even the most hardened of the alien hunters. Zara fired her weapon, but the plasma bolt dissipated harmlessly against the bear's fur. For the first time in her long career as a hunter, she felt a flicker of fear. From his vantage point, Aklak watched in awe as the great bear, the Nanak, revered in his people's stories, faced down the alien intruders. He knew he should run, warn his village, but something kept him rooted to the spot. The outcome of this encounter, he sensed, would shape the fate of his people and perhaps the entire planet. As the polar bear's massive paw swiped toward Zora, and the alien hunters scrambled to regroup, the Arctic wind howled louder, as if nature itself was crying out in defiance of these cosmic invaders. The hunt had taken an unexpected turn, and a line between predator and prey was blurring with each passing moment. In the harsh beauty of the Arctic, a battle was unfolding that would challenge everything the galactic hunters thought they knew about Earth and its inhabitants. The tables turn. The polar bear's massive paw sliced through the air, missing Zara by mere centimeters as she dove to the side. Snow and ice sprayed up where the bear's claws struck, a testament to its incredible strength. "Fall back," Zara shouted, her usual confidence shaken. The alien hunters retreated, their weapons trained on the advancing bear. Lurax, separated from the group, found himself face to face with the towering predator. His trembling hands fumbled with his weapon, but before he could fire, the bear charged. In a panic, Lurax activated his personal shield, a last resort that was untested in Earth's unique conditions. To everyone's shock, instead of repelling the bear, the shield seemed to envelop it. For a moment, bear and alien were encased in a shimmering bubble of energy. When it dissipated, Lyrax was unconscious on the ground, and the bear stood over him, its fur crackling with residual energy. "What in the name of the Galactic Empire just happened?" Drin exclaimed, his gelatinous form quivering with a mix of fear and excitement. Zara's mind raced. Nothing in her centuries of hunting had prepared her for this. "The ionic composition of the ice," she muttered. "It must be interacting with our technology in ways we didn't anticipate." From his hidden vantage point, Aklak watched in awe. The great Nanak, spirit of the ice, seemed to be absorbing the strange energies of the sky visitors. In that moment, Aklak knew he had to act. These beings threatened not just the bear, but the delicate balance of his homeland. With silent determination, he began to move, circling wide around the confrontation. His people had survived in this harsh land for millennia, and he carried that ancestral knowledge with him. Back at the alien camp, Krill was frantically trying to establish communication with the Nexus Prime. "Captain," his tentacles waved in agitation, "our signals are being blocked. Something about this place is interfering with all our systems." Zara, her 6 eyes darting between the bear and her scattered team, made a decision. "Regroup at the camp. We need to reassess our strategy." As the aliens fell back, the polar bear stood its ground, letting out another earth-shaking roar. It seemed to be guarding the unconscious Lyrax, rather than attacking him. Aklak, seizing his opportunity, darted forward. With practiced ease, he lifted Lyrax's surprisingly light form and began to drag him away from the confrontation. The bear, as if understanding, shifted its massive bulk to shield them from the other aliens' view. Zara, reaching the relative safety of the camp, did a quick head count. "Where's Lyrax?" she demanded, her mandibles clicking in agitation. Thren, scanning the area, froze. "Captain, you need to see this." On his holo display, a small heat signature was moving away from their position, dragging another form with it. And behind them, the massive heat bloom of the polar bear was advancing towards the alien camp. "Impossible," Zara breathed. "Are we being hunted?" Miles away, in a small ice cave, Aklak tended to the unconscious alien. He had seen the sky visitors' weapons and knew the danger they posed. But as he looked at Lyrax's strange, vulnerable form, he felt a surge of something unexpected: compassion. "Enemy or not," Aklak murmured in his native tongue, "no one deserves to be left helpless on the ice." As he worked to revive Lyrax, using traditional remedies passed down through generations, Aklak's mind whirled with questions. Who were these beings? Why had they come? And most importantly, how could he protect his people and his land from their advanced technology? Back at the alien camp, Zara and her team frantically worked to fortify their position. The polar bear, now joined by 2 others drawn by the commotion, circled just out of weapon range. Their eyes gleamed with an intelligence that sent shivers down even Zora's spine. As the Arctic sun dipped towards the horizon, casting long shadows across the ice, both humans and aliens found themselves facing challenges beyond anything they had imagined. The hunt had become a complex dance of survival, technology, and ancient wisdom. In the growing darkness, Lyrax's eyes fluttered open, meeting the concerned gaze of Aklak. 2 beings, from worlds unimaginably distant, found themselves allied by circumstance and mutual need. The stage was set for a confrontation that would test the limits of both human ingenuity and alien technology, with the fate of Earth hanging in the balance. Unlikely alliances. As consciousness slowly returned to Lyrax, his bioluminescent skin pulsed with confusion and fear. He found himself in a dimly lit ice cave, the walls glowing softly with refracted light. Beside him, a figure unlike any he had ever seen watched him intently. Where am I?" Lyrax managed to croak, his universal translator struggling to process the unfamiliar language. Aklak, surprised to hear the alien speak, replied carefully, "You're safe. I brought you here after the Nanook, the great bear, Attack your people. Lyrax's mind raced, piecing together fragmented memories. The bear, it didn't attack me. It protected me. He sat up slowly, wincing at the unfamiliar aches in his body. Eklak nodded, a small smile playing on his weathered face. The spirits of this land are wise. They know friend from foe. As Lyrax absorbed this, he noticed Eklak's simple but effective tools and clothing. "You're human?" he asked, recalling the briefings on Earth's dominant species. "I am Inuit," Eklak replied proudly. "My people have lived on these lands since time immemorial." Meanwhile, back at the alien camp, chaos reigned. The polar bears had been joined by a small herd of muskoxen, forming an impenetrable living barrier around the perimeter. Every attempt to use their advanced weapons or containment fields had backfired spectacularly. Zara paced furiously, her mandibles clicking in agitation. "This is unprecedented. How can primitive beasts resist our technology?" Krill, his gelatinous form rippling with stress, offered a theory. "Captain, I've been analyzing the data. It seems the unique electromagnetic properties of this region, combined with trace elements in the ice, are creating a natural defense against our systems." Dren, usually the most composed of the group, couldn't hide his awe. "It's as if the entire ecosystem is working together against us. I've never seen anything like it." Zara's eyes narrowed. "Are you suggesting this planet is sentient?" Before anyone could respond, a loud crack echoed across the ice. The ground beneath their feet began to shift and groan. "The ice is breaking," Krill exclaimed, his tentacles flailing in panic. As the alien hunters scrambled to secure their equipment, the Arctic animals calmly retreated to stable ground. The bears watched impassively as the intruders struggled, making no move to attack, but offering no assistance either. Back in the ice cave, Lyrax and Eklak had formed an uneasy alliance. Lyrax, realizing the folly of their invasion, shared what he knew of the aliens' plans. Eklak, in turn, explained the delicate balance of the Arctic ecosystem and the deep connection his people had with the land. "Your weapons, your shields," Eklak mused, "they disrupt the natural energies of this place. That is why they fail." Lyrax nodded slowly, understanding dawning. "We came here seeing only resources to be conquered, creatures to be captured. We never considered that this world might fight back." A commotion outside the cave drew their attention. Peering out, they saw a group of Inuit hunters approaching, led by a tall, imposing woman. "Eklak," she called out. "We saw the lights in the sky. What's happening?" Eklak emerged from the cave, Lyrax cautiously following. "Sila," Eklak addressed the woman, "we face a threat unlike any before, but also an opportunity." As Eklak quickly explained the situation, Sila's eyes never left Lyrax. Her gaze was not hostile, but calculating, assessing. "So," she said finally, "the stars have brought both danger and knowledge to our shores." She turned to her hunters. "Prepare the village. We may need to evacuate or to fight." Lyrax, feeling the weight of responsibility, stepped forward. I want to help. What my people are doing is wrong. This world, your home, it's not just another hunting ground. It's alive in a way we never understood." Sila regarded him for a long moment, then nodded. "Very well, Star Traveler. But know this, betray us, and neither your technology nor our mercy will save you." As the group prepared to move out, a distant roar echoed across the ice. The polar bears were on the move, and with them, the very land seemed to tremble with anticipation. In the alien camp, now precariously balanced on a shrinking ice floe, Zara made a decision. "Prepare for emergency evacuation," she ordered. "We're leaving this cursed planet." But as their systems flickered and failed, and the ice continued to crack beneath them, the realization set in. They were trapped, their advanced technology rendered useless by the very world they had come to conquer. As night fell over the Arctic, two groups, one human, one alien, moved across the ice with very different intentions. The fate of Earth and perhaps the galaxy hung in the balance. The hunt had become far more than any had bargained for, and the true test of survival was only just beginning. The ice speaks. The Arctic night descended swiftly, painting the vast expanse of ice and snow in shades of deep blue and purple. HFY led the mixed group of Inuit hunters and the alien Lyrax across the treacherous terrain, their breaths forming small clouds in the frigid air. Scylla, walking beside Lyrax, studied the alien with a mixture of curiosity and caution. "Tell me, star traveler," she said, her voice low, "why did your people really come to our world?" Lyrax's bioluminescent skin pulsed with shame. We saw your planet as nothing more than a new hunting ground, a place to prove our superiority." He paused, his alien features contorting in what could only be described as regret. "We were fools." As they crested a ridge, the distant glow of the alien camp came into view. The once proud hunters were now huddled on a shrinking island of ice, their advanced technology sparking uselessly around them. HFY raised a hand, signaling the group to halt. "Look," he whispered, pointing to the edges of the ice floe. Dark shapes moved through the water. A pod of orcas, their dorsal fins cutting through the surface like obsidian blades. "The hunters become the hunted," Scylla murmured, a note of grim satisfaction in her voice. Back at the alien camp, Zora's composure had all but shattered. Her 6 eyes darted frantically between the approaching orcas and the malfunctioning equipment. "Krill," she shouted, "tell me you've made contact with the ship." The gelatinous alien's tentacles writhed in frustration. "Negative, Captain. All long-range communications are still down." Dren, who had been analyzing data on a flickering holo display, suddenly straightened. "Captain, I'm detecting a massive energy buildup beneath the ice. It's like the entire region is charging up." As if on cue, the ice beneath their feet began to glow with an eerie, pulsating light. Patterns emerged, intricate, fractal designs that seemed to flow and shift like living things. On the ridge, HFY and his companions watched in awe as the phenomenon spread. The entire horizon was soon ablaze with ghostly light, ribbons of color dancing across the sky in a spectacular display. "The aurora," HFY breathed, his eyes wide. "But I've never seen it like this." Lyrax's scientific mind raced. "It's as if the electromagnetic field of your planet is responding to our presence." "But how? Why?" Scylla's voice was quiet but firm. "The land speaks. The ice, the sky, the animals, they are all part of a greater whole. Our elders have always known this. Now, it seems, the world itself rises to defend against those who would harm it." As they watched, the glowing patterns on the ice began to converge on the alien camp. The orcas, as if guided by an unseen hand, formed a tight circle around the ice floe. Zara and her team huddled together, their weapons and shields rendered useless by the pulsing energy that now surrounded them. For the first time in her long career as a galactic hunter, Zara felt truly powerless. On the ridge, Lyrax made a decision. "I have to go to them," he said, turning to HFY and Scylla. "Maybe I can convince them to stand down, to leave your world in peace." HFY nodded solemnly. "We will accompany you. This concerns all of us." As they made their way down to the shore, the ice seemed to part before them, creating a safe path. The polar bears, which had been watching from a distance, fell in behind the group like an honor guard. When they reached the edge of the solid ice, mere meters from the trapped aliens, Scylla stepped forward. Her voice, when she spoke, seemed to carry the weight of generations. "Invaders from the stars," she called out, her words somehow clear despite the howling wind. "You came to our world seeking conquest. Instead, you have found something far greater, a lesson in humility." Zara, her alien features a mask of confusion and fear, could only stare in disbelief as her former subordinate Lyrax stood alongside the humans. The glowing patterns on the ice intensified, and a deep rumbling filled the air. It was as if the very planet was speaking, passing judgment on those who had dared to threaten its delicate balance. As the cosmic drama unfolded on that remote Arctic shore, it became clear that the fate of not just Earth, but perhaps the entire galactic understanding of life and consciousness hung in the balance. The hunt had become a crucible, a test of values and understanding that would reshape the destiny of two very different civilizations. And as the aurora danced overhead, painting the sky with otherworldly light, the true power of Earth, not as a resource to be exploited, but as a living, breathing entity, was about to be revealed.